All right, let's dive right in. We're going to tackle a huge question today, one that every single engineering student should be thinking about. Seriously, this could be what defines your whole career path. So here it is, the big one. In a world that's being completely reshaped by AI, is your degree still enough? This is the core challenge we're digging into. And, the answer isn't what it used to be. Just getting good grades, that's not going to cut it anymore. Exactly. The whole game has changed. Think about it. The job market is just different. A standard issue degree doesn't have the same weight. The rules for what makes a successful career have been totally rewritten, and honestly, the key to winning now is being able to adapt faster than the person next to you. Okay, so let's get real about what this new world looks like. What are the actual challenges? We're going to break down the specific pressures that new engineering grads are up against right now. Okay, you've got this perfect storm of three things happening all at once. First, way more graduates are flooding the market, all fighting for the same top-tier jobs. Then, you've got AI coming in and just automating a bunch of those classic entry-level positions. So the number of open doors is actually shrinking. And to top it all off, it's harder to go abroad for work, which means all that fierce competition is happening right in your backyard. The bottom line? If you don't have specialized skills that you can prove, you're going to have a hard time even getting a foot in the door. But here's a thought. What if you could flip this whole situation on its head? What if you could actually use these challenges to create a massive opportunity for yourself? This pressure is actually leading to some really interesting new ways to think about education. So let's take a look at one of these new models as a kind of case study. It's called the Master's Certificate Program, or MCP, and it's a partnership between GNDEC and Pragyan AI. Now, this isn't just another online course you click through or some quick boot camp. No, this is pitched as a full-on 3-year transformational journey. The whole point is to build deep, meaningful skills specifically for this new age of AI. All right, so a 3-year program, what does that actually look like in practice? Let's break down the roadmap they put together to take someone from a student to a genuine, high-level AI professional. So it looks like the curriculum is built on these 8 core skill pillars. You start with the absolute essentials, Python and data wrangling. Then you move up through data science, machine learning, but it's the stuff at the end that gets really exciting. We're talking generative AI, the tech that can create new content, and even agentic AI, which is all about building systems that can think and act on their own. It really seems designed to be the whole shebang, from A to Z of what's happening in AI today. And here's how they've spread that out over the 3 years. Semesters 3 and 4, that's all about building a super solid foundation. You've got to have that base. Then, in semesters 5 and 6, you're mastering the heavy hitters, machine learning, deep learning, computer vision. But that final year, that's where you get into the really cutting-edge stuff that companies are desperate for right now. Things like LLMs and those autonomous AI agents we just talked about. Of course, knowing the theory is one thing, but we all know that's not enough, right? Practice is everything. So when they say hands-on, what does that actually mean? Well, the numbers here are pretty telling. First off, let's talk about the time commitment. We're looking at over 2,000 hours of learning. That is a lot. To give you some perspective, that's basically the same level of intensity you'd get in a full-time MTech program from a top-tier university. This is no weekend workshop. And then there's the output. What do you actually build? How about over 150 hands-on projects? See, the idea here isn't just to learn stuff. It's to create this huge portfolio that screams, I know what I'm doing. You can literally show an employer what you can do, not just tell them. And finally, the tools of the trade. You're expected to master more than 70 different tools and libraries that companies are actually using right now. We're not talking about outdated stuff. This means getting your hands dirty with the big ones. TensorFlow from Google, PyTorch from Meta, and of course, the powerhouse that is Hugging Face. But it looks like it's not all just about the tech skills. The program is absolutely packed with things that get you ready for a real career. We're talking hackathons, getting your name on research papers, and tons of mock interviews. For technical skills, HR, group discussions, you name it. It really feels like every single piece is designed to build that bridge from being a student to being a pro. Okay, so you do all this incredibly hard work. What's the payoff? What's the end game? Let's talk about the results, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
And this is where things get really interesting. One of the headline features of this model is a 100% placement guarantee. Yeah, you heard that right. And they're talking a salary range of 4 to 30 lakhs per year. That is a very bold promise. It totally shifts the conversation from "we'll help you find a job" to "we guarantee you'll get one."
The way you pay for it is also pretty different. It's designed to take the risk off the student's shoulders. You pay a small, manageable fee per semester to start, then their entire focus is on getting you that job. And only after you have an offer letter in hand do you pay the rest of the fee. And get this, the amount you pay is actually based on the salary you get.
So, if you compare a graduate from a traditional path to a graduate from a program like this, the difference is just stark. A typical grad might have 1 or 2 projects to their name. This program is aiming for over 150. One has basic theory, the other has hands-on experience with things like agentic AI. It's clear the whole goal is to create a candidate that just stands out, miles ahead of the competition.
Okay, so how does a model like this actually stack up against the other options out there? You know, the things you're probably already looking at. Let's do a final head-to-head comparison. Just looking at this chart, you can spot the huge differences right away. The time commitment, over 2,000 hours, is just worlds apart from a typical boot camp. The number of projects, it's not even in the same league. But maybe the biggest game changer is the financial side. It's a pay-after-placement model that shares the risk with you, which is completely different from other programs where you have to pay a ton of money up front with no real guarantee of a job at the end.
So, when you boil it all down, the main takeaway here is pretty clear. This isn't being sold as a quick fix or just another piece of paper to hang on your wall. The whole philosophy is about making a serious, long-term investment in building an elite, future-proof career at the very top of the AI industry.
And in the end, it really all comes down to one simple, powerful question. In this new age of AI, are you going to be the one writing the code, or are you going to be replaced by it? The choice is really up to you. Thanks for tuning in.